Okay, this video will deal with number 10 only. It's our last one. Just a reminder is that we're dealing with a for loop. And the for loop, you do the first argument first, and then the middle argument, and then you go to the loop. And this is the first time only. Every time after that, you come into the for loop through the third argument, the last argument. Go to the middle. Always go there before you see if you have to go into the loop or not, because that's where the Boolean expression is that's evaluated to be true or false. The other thing is that the other note that we need to make sure that we're aware of is learning something new. We know that count plus plus means to add 1 to the variable count. Well, count minus minus means to subtract 1 from the variable count. Actually, we've talked about this in class. So our first declaration and assignment, which is actually an initialization, is that P is assigned to be 0, and the int M has no assignment yet. So the first line of actual doing something here is we're going to go to the for loop, and again we go to the first argument, and that's where we establish M to be 10. So 10 is assigned to M. It's the only time that we'll do that particular argument. We go to the middle. Is 10 greater than 6? Well, yes it is. And so since that's true, now we're going to go from the middle argument, which is always the case, into the loop. Well, the first part of the loop is an if statement as part of an if-else structure. So M is currently 10. So is 10 equal to 7? Well, no it's not. So we are not going to do the if section. We're only going to do the else. So the else statement says to add 1 to P. So we add 1 to P, and so now it becomes 1. The next thing is the end of the if-else structure. The next line is the end of the for structure, or the for loop. So we go back to the for loop. We enter by the third argument, and it tells us to subtract 1 from M and assign it to M. So we subtract 1 from 10, we get 9, so M is now 9. The question is 9 greater than 6? Which it is. So we now go from the middle into the loop. So since this is true, so we go in here, is 9 equal to 7? Well, it's still false, so we still do not do the if structure or the if clause. And so we go to the else. The else tells us then that we need to add 1 then to P. And so we increment that, and now P becomes 2. End of the if else structure, end of the loop, go back to the for statement. Enter in by the third argument. We subtract 1 from M and replace that with 8. Is 8 greater than 6? It is. So we're going to jump back into the loop. If statement says is 8, because that's what's the memory location right now, is 8 equal to 7? Well, it's false. So again, we're not doing the if clause. We're going to go straight to the else clause again, and we're going to add 1. We're going to increment P by 1 again. So now P is 3. So again, this ends the if else structure. We go. The next line is a brace, which tells us to end the for loop and now go back to the for statement. We enter the for statement by the third argument again, and then we decrease M by 1. So now M is 7. With M being 7 in the memory location, then when we look at this, is 7 greater than 6? Well, yes it is. So we're jumping back into the loop. The question now, is 7 equal to 7? And that is true at this point. Alright, so we're here at the first line, is 7 equal 7? Well, now it's true. So now we're going to jump into the if braces and do the if clause. We will not be doing the else. And so we're going to assign P to be whatever P is right now. Well, you look at the memory location and it says that P is 3. M, it says in the memory location, is 7. So P is assigned the sum of 3 and 7. So now it's 10. Whoa, I don't know what happened there. So now it's 10. P is 10. And then we go to the next line down. Let's see if we can get rid of this line. Oh, that's weird. I do not know what happened there. So we are done with the if portion. So we're going to go out of the if else structure. The next line of code is the brace for the loop, which tells us to go back to the for statement. So we enter by the third argument. It tells us let's subtract 1 from M. So M becomes 6. The question is then, as we go to the second or the middle argument, we ask ourselves, is 6 greater than 6? So now that is false. So now we can kick out of the for loop, which ends right here, and we're going to kick out of the for loop, go to the next statement after it, which tells us to print P. Because this is in quotation marks, we're going to print P is, and then a space because it's in quotation marks. And then there's no quotation marks around P, so we're going to print the value of P, which according to the memory location is 6. Ooh, there I did it again. So P is 6 is our final printout.